30 seconds until Christmas celebrations. Hop in the chat. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! 15. Three, two, one, let's go! We did it, Mark. We did it, baby. Let's go. We did it. It was us. It was us. Yeah. It was we. It was us. It was what? Oh, my goodness, Mark. I am live here in my in-laws' attic/office. The Wi-Fi may be shoddy, but it doesn't matter because we got a Christmas miracle win. You are live from wherever. You got your Christmas thing on. It's looking great. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Feeling great. I'm at my sister's house right now. So we've been here all day, and for the last 3 hours, I have been absolutely no company whatsoever. I've just been on my phone. I said I was going to be watching the game in the background, and then the game was just too insane. That was unignorable. I couldn't focus on anything else. That was a roller coaster. I can't believe they pulled it off.
I can't believe it either. And to be honest, that first half did not look well. Before we get into that, let's jump to the chat real quick. Richard Romero, thanks for joining us. Wow, what a game. Yes, we will talk about it in a second. Circa 110111, thank you. I like you guys better when we win. I like us better when we win. Richard, he's drunk. We love it. We love a drunk Richard. Tim McLaughlin with the Packers win. The Patriots are kept alive along with losing to the Jets. This is crazy. The playoff scenarios that have come out of this game specifically, I think this game on the playoff scenario scale was like an 80 according to the NFL, which is absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
I mean, it's it's pulled the Dolphins back into a really bad situation too. That's the other side of this. Obviously, we don't care about that, but
no,
the Dolphins are now from what looked like an absolute lock to make the playoffs and maybe even win the division, are now in the race. All of a sudden, and they've lost 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's huge.
Pretty nuts.
It's huge for them, dude. And let's talk about let's dive into this game here. Okay, first half, I'm watching it. I feel okay. Christian Watson's doing some things, but it just felt like they were just a tick off, right? I mean, it was just a tick. Everything that I was seeing, it was okay, you got Christian Watson in space. Good, right? Good job. But then Christian Watson would slip, or Alan Lazard would drop a pass over the middle, or Romeo Doubs would drop a check down. Dude, it was just everything that could have gone wrong felt like it was going wrong, except for the fact that we were somehow still in it. It honestly felt like a Christmas miracle that we were still in it.
Yeah, 100%. I think I was the way the game started, I was so disappointed with both sides of the ball.
Yes.
And it was just because, like you said, it wasn't massive things, but on offense, this was a game where you know what's on the line today. And maybe it was just they were tight. They knew how big the game was, but Rodgers was off. The receivers dropping passes, like you said, there's mistakes. And on the defensive side, they were just fortunate in a way because the Dolphins kept shooting themselves in the foot, much like the Packers were on the other side. Because if not, the Packers did not look like, for the first half anyway, that they had a hope of actually stopping the Dolphins other than hoping for a holding call or something like that, basically. So, yeah, it was a crazy first half. And I by the time it got to halftime when the Packers were down 7, at that point, I was almost I feel okay about this, because there was times when I felt like the Packers should be up by 10 points. And then other times where I felt like they should be out of this game already.
Yes, 100%. It was so back and forth. I really don't know. This is the most improbable thing to happen. Now, listen, according to Twitter, I'm being told the Packers, this is their 15th straight win in December. Do the Packers just come on in December? Is this how this works? This is crazy, man.
It must be, man. When it comes down the stretch, I mean, think about that as well, because in previous seasons under Matt LaFleur, I think he's undefeated in December as the Packers coach. And a lot of those other games were for seeding. They were going to make the playoffs. They were in a good situation.
Right.
Or maybe they'd already clinched the division. But this is crunch time situation now. And fair enough, they beat 2 bad teams the last 2 weeks. But they beat a good team today, a genuinely good team.
Genuinely.
And that bodes well for the last 2 games, where they're going to have to beat good teams again.
Yeah. Dhiraj, sorry if I mispronounced your name there. He says he doesn't want to be a Debbie Downer, but Matt LaFleur's game calling balled out by the defense. Listen, I'm not going to lie. The defense showed up today. I don't know if it was the defensive play calling necessarily because, listen, I thought at the beginning of last month or at the beginning of this month, watching the Miami Dolphins and watching how teams were able to beat them on this 4-game losing streak, the only way to beat this team is to press them at the line. And that is the one thing that Joe Barry does not do. Okay, so the fact that we go into this game and we kind of start doing that gave me a little bit of confidence. So I'm not giving Joe Barry any unnecessary credit here, but I am saying, like, the defensive players, whether or not it was Joe Barry's play calling or not, the defensive players came out and they executed whatever the plan was. They did a great job. I think defense was kind of, if we go through the good, bad, and the ugly on our terms, defense was kind of the good today.
Yeah, I think it's there's like levels to it, right? Because I think basically you do have to give them a good grade because I think they did the like we talked about, the only way that you stand a chance in this game defensively is to be aggressive. And at times they got absolutely burned by doing that. Like they got cooked on a few plays, huge plays, but they got 3 turnovers because if you can disrupt the timing of the offense, then Tua is not, he doesn't thrive in that scenario. And that's obviously where the mistakes came from, the picks came from. So ultimately you have to live with that. Today they gave up some huge plays because it was the only way they were going to win the game. Like letting them paper cut you to death is not the way with the Dolphins because they can just do that. They'll just throw a 5-yard underneath route to Waddle or Hill and they'll take off.
Yeah.
So I applaud Joe Barry today because I think he did what they had to do and he changed his identity because they had to do it and it worked. So yeah, props to the defense.
Yeah, props to the defense. We don't have any other choice but to give them props, and that's awesome. Shout out to the defensive players. I mean, the talent that has been, so we've been talking about it all season, the talent that's been in and around this defense should play like this. Like this should be the entry-level standard for this team, and they should play even better down the stretch. So I'm excited to see what happens next. Let's talk about Christian Watson getting hurt, man. That sucks. Keyshawn Nixon obviously had that amazing return, and he got hurt. Josh Nijman getting hurt, that's not great. But the fact that Christian Watson came out in sweats didn't feel very good to me.
Yeah, the fact that there was sort of like, there wasn't a chance like he was pushing to get back into the game, especially with how important he is to the team.
Right.
But frankly, I was so impressed that they managed to win this game without Christian Watson for most of it, that I wouldn't have imagined they would have been able to do that before the game. I would never have thought they could have done that. And then Josh goes out. Obviously, the offensive line does become compromised at that point. And it was almost from that point, like in the fourth quarter, Rodgers kind of just locked it in. And he didn't play like God-level Rodgers like we sometimes does in the fourth quarter, but he just got it done. Like he just found a way to get the job done. And obviously running the ball helped. And Romeo Doubs stepped up big time. But going forward, like if you don't have Watson, Nixon, Nijman for the last 2 games, that's going to be big. So obviously we just have to wait and see what the diagnosis is.
It's huge. It's huge. Alyssa, thanks for the chat. Keyshawn Nixon set the tone for this game, in my opinion. 100%. 100%, dude. Keyshawn Nixon came out and just took everything with confidence, right? He set the tone. Special teams, actually. Let's talk about special teams as a whole, dude. Special teams as a whole, the most improbable thing to happen compared to last season, shows up for this game. If you want to talk about phases and complementary football, I'll tell you one unit that showed up to play today, showed up to win today, was special teams.
100%. And I think this is the thing. We're all very, I think at the start of the season, because of how bad special teams has been, and you paid Rich Bisaccia a lot of money to come in and fix it, there was almost an impatience that set in that was like, it wasn't fixed by week 3. So it was kind of like, oh, it's never going to get fixed. But like in the last kind of 6, well, basically since Keyshawn Nixon's been the returner, and I know that masks a lot of issues, but you also have to block well enough for him to get those returns. There hasn't been as many penalties. There hasn't been gaffes, just like absolute massive errors. The field goal kicking has been solid, rock solid. So yeah, 100%. The special teams, if it's just like this forever, is absolutely fine. Like there's no problem.
Let's go to some of the reactions from the players and things as the post-game press conferences are ongoing right now. Rasul Douglas, Matt Schneidman tweeted out that Rasul Douglas said that DB coach Jerry Gray cussed them out at halftime. Apparently that's not normal for Jerry Gray. Jerry Gray is normally a very even-keeled guy. It woke everyone up, and Douglas knew it was time. It was time to show up. It was time to show out. It was time to do everything that they needed to do to win this game. That's huge, man. That's huge. Yeah, Rasul Douglas with another Christmas game-sealing interception. I'm so excited about it, dude.
I'm just glad he didn't lateral this one.
Exactly, dude. Oh man, that lateral. I think we talked about it on our last show too. That was just crazy, dude. I don't understand what he was thinking.
I don't know if we even did talk about it.
I don't think we did. I think it was just such. Yeah, we tried to ignore it. We tried to ignore it for sure. But
yeah, that was pretty nuts. Oh, we might have talked about it a bit, but anyway,
Rasul was. Yeah, he was kind of getting cooked, dude. He was kind of getting cooked in the beginning of the game.
Yeah. And this is the thing. He's obviously an aggressive corner and it suits him, but it's not going to suit him that well against a Waddle or a Hill because like Rasul's strength is not like straight line speed; it's being physical. So like, and it worked on a couple of plays. Like even I think it was the first drive, Hill sort of got behind him and he just did enough to kind of put him off without giving up the flag and they got off the field. But at times, if it's in space, he's going to get cooked by those guys. But that's what you live with Rasul, you know. So
yeah, 100%, man. It's it's almost like Diggs, right, from the Cowboys. Like he's going to play super aggressive. He's going to go for the pick every single time, and you live and you learn. Although Rasul did a pretty good job, like you said, sticking with Hill on that one play. You know who did not have a good game today, though? That was kind of disappointing. Adrian Amos, man. It just kind of felt like his angles, the way he attacked the ball, the way he got beat on that deep play, everything about him today just did not feel very holiday spirit to me, if you know what I mean.
No, it didn't. I'm sure the Dolphins thought it did, but he's just like, he just seems to have, and look, I don't want to ever say like a guy's cooked, like he's done or anything like that, because you don't know what the guy's dealing with.
You really don't.
Underlying thing. You have no idea what's going on with the guy. Because last year this wasn't there, but he looks so slow this year, and obviously when you're against Hill and Waddle, it's really going to show up.
Right.
But yeah, he's looked slow all season, and he was the sure thing that they had at safety, and you couple that with Savage not progressing how anyone hoped he would, and it's a serious problem, man. Like I don't know what's going on, but they got to get something figured out. Like the fact that Rudy Ford is now your best safety is not good.
Yeah, Rudy was in on cleanup duty all day long. It felt like I kept seeing him enter the screen, either halfway during the play or halfway after the play was over. It like he was coming up to clean it up, and it just didn't feel very good. So first half obviously was terrible. Running the ball just didn't seem. I know they were playing a lot of it looked like maybe too high shell, but it also. A lot of press man. They were pressing up. They were doing everything that Aaron Rodgers loves, and Aaron Rodgers was all about it. So, of course, they went to their piggy bank, right? What's their piggy bank? They're trying to hit those bubble screens. They're trying to hit those, those plays where they, get a little RPO action in there, and it worked for a few of them. But the running game just didn't seem to really get going at all in this game today.
No, it didn't until kind of the second half, and almost when they kind of had to do it. I think they sort of committed to it near the end. I think a lot of it obviously was like Jones is obviously dealing with an injury.
Right.
And I think they tried to not use him as much as possible. Like it was basically like, if we don't have to use him in this game, if the offense is just moving, then we won't use him at all. Like we just don't need to. But they did need to in the end, and he made a couple of big plays. He had the 18-yard run on the 1st and 20 near the end. And Dylan got going in the second half, which was good.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I think with the offense, like a lot of the bad things that happened in the first half, especially, no, I don't think any of it was necessarily even like calls or like Rodgers had a terrible first half, but it didn't seem for the most part, other than maybe the one play where he took the sack in the red zone. It didn't seem like bad decision making. He was just missing throws. Like he was just making mistakes, and like he snapped out of it just in time. But that was really concerning. Like first half, like we have to have this game. You're the MVP, and you're like, it was like watching severely broken thumb Rodgers again. Like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird to watch his performance today. But one thing that I will say about Aaron Rodgers, right? Like there's a lot of people, will harp on the way that he's played this season. And trust me, it's not been great, but there's something about having someone with the cerebral, ability to do things like that. And having someone who can not just operate the offense, but know he's seen every single coverage in the league multiple times, right? So it helps to have someone with that kind of mastermind do it. Justin, thanks for the super chat. We're not dead. Haters take a sick day. That's right. Let's go. I love it.
We are not dead.
I appreciate it. I can't believe we're not dead. Let's talk about playoff scenarios now, because now we're at the point where what do? You just win out. That's all you can do.
If they win out now, they're going to get in. Like, there's no way in my head. I mean, there is, but like the Commanders are going to lose one of these next two games. Like, they're talking about putting Wentz back in. I don't think that's the answer. Like, they could lose to the Browns. They could lose to the Cowboys, even if the Cowboys don't play their starters. So, yeah, I mean, that would be the crusher now if you win your two games and still don't get in. But also the Giants could lose out and they could get in that way. So, yeah, like, just win your two games. I know that's easier said than done, but they're both at home against teams you can beat. Like, you have to go do it. Like, you're on this roll. Hopefully the injuries aren't too bad. But, yeah, the playoffs is suddenly, like, I'd love to see the percentage chance now.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be I'm going to Google that. From the chat, McDaniels versus Rodgers timeout was a nice moment of that cerebral ability, 100%. He caught him. He caught him in that moment. Let's look this up, though. Should we do 538? That's the one we used before. Playoff chances went from...
Also, while you're doing that, what was really smart from McDaniel, and obviously it nearly worked out, was obviously told his defensive player to jump off sides on 2nd and 2, like on purpose. Because that was terrible down and distance for them. So
you're absolutely right.
The first down, that doesn't matter. That was really smart and nearly worked. So like he's a good coach, man. Like, did you see like the embrace between him and LaFleur at the end? It was like two guys that just in like a heavyweight battle.
That was good. That is funny. I'm still Googling this here. 538.com is the one we used before, so I guess we'll pull that one up again. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Let's
it's probably looking good or decent.
Yeah, let's switch over here. I'm going to go to the full screen and see if this works. Here we go. All right, 538.com. Here we go. If the Packers don't win out, let's see here. No, you don't want that. Let's close that. Here we go. Right now, the Packers are currently at, hold on a second, 27%. Remember, we were at 6%.
Like 4%, right?
Yeah, 4%, 6%. Now, if we beat Minnesota, we go to 57%. Okay?
Yeah.
If we beat Detroit, 90%. That is huge.
Wow.
That is huge. So, yeah, we're currently at, like I said, 27%. Let's close this out here. 538.com. Now, it depends on who you look at. A lot of people use different analytics, different, whatever they're doing to try and figure that out. But, yeah, currently 27%. I like those odds. That feels good.
100%.
I mean, let's be real. We all know there's only one way you're getting into the playoffs, and that's winning out, right?
Yeah, of course. There's no, I know there technically is a situation where they can only win one and still go through, but they would need, again, to get so much more help.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, you couldn't have asked for a better situation a few weeks ago when we first started talking about this after the Bears game, to basically be in a place where all you need is one more piece of help and to win two games and you're in the playoffs. It has broken perfectly for them.
100%. I mean, those games, especially yesterday, right? That was huge. That was unbelievable.
Yeah. Like everybody lost that they need.
100%. What was I going to say here? Let's go back to the chat. Logan, we won. Now it's time to focus on getting healthy and beating the Vikings. Yes, we need Christian Watson. We need Yosh Nijman. The Royce Newman experience ended in the middle of the season, and it should stay ended, definitely. I don't like... Yeah. That did not feel good.
Next week.
Yes, 100%. He was almost back this week. He started light practice this week, so that's huge. If we get him back, that's a huge boost to this offensive line, regardless of who's playing on the other side. Okay, Royce Newman at tackle was not a great thing, but let's keep it moving. Richard, we are playing much better now. It's nice to see this team grow. Yes, I will say the offense has put up just about 30 points every game for the last 4 or 5 games, and you can't ask for anything more. That is great news to have. New York Cheesehead, we have another Victory Monday. Monday. And on Christmas, you can't ask for a better Christmas gift. I hope everybody out there is having a great Christmas. Richard Romero, again, a lot of mistakes, but no quitting. You're absolutely right. This team has changed a lot from the middle of the season. Isn't that right, Mark?
Oh, 100%. This is, again, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago in terms of yes, we were kind of talking about the playoffs, and yes, there's still a chance of doing that, but it was more about what the rest of the season looks like and building positive momentum and just seeing those strides. And whether you make the playoffs or not, if you kind of look good, maybe you win, even if you win all but one of the games, then that's something to be like proud of and like show that the Packers are still like the Packers. They're not going to suck. Like that's not them. So it's been so good to see. And like the fight they had to show today to win that game was incredible.
100%.
All the mistakes they made and they just kept coming back. Like
I love to see it. Exactly. I love to see a team that can overcome adversity, and that's exactly what this team is doing right now. New York Cheesehead, no matter what we do, Washington has to lose one more. That's correct. Yes, we are aware of that. Yeah. But the likelihood of that happening, there's 2 more games. You know, they can easily do that. So hopefully they do that. Packers and Cheddar slide Tom over to right tackle. What do you think about that, Mark? I don't know. It's I don't know if plug and play necessarily works with him there. I'd rather. I think they made the right choice with Newman today.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously he was already starting at left tackle today, right? So like,
right.
If 69 is back and Nyman is not back.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I have Christmas brain right now. I have a lasagna in the oven. Yes, Zach Tom was already at left tackle. Don't sue me.
So like, but they were talking about like right tackle, right? Like, could you slide him over there? Like,
right.
Yeah, maybe they do that if Bakhtiari's back. I think you would have to do that. You would have to prefer that over Rose Newman. You would have to.
Yes.
But if Bakhtiari isn't back, then they're not going to move him. Obviously, like, they're just keeping him left tackle.
The cornerbacks and linebackers got me mad, but they made up with the interceptions. Yeah, I mean, the defense as a whole was playing kind of weird, right? It felt a little off this whole game, but they really, like we talked about at the beginning of the stream, they really showed up. Those interceptions, they won the turnover battle, they won the game, right? It's a tale as old as time in the NFL. 100%. Big Al, this is giving me 2010 vibes. Listen, Big Al, sometimes you got to take the hard road to do the things you want to do. We've had the easy road the past few years, and it hasn't worked out. But if you take the hard road, you never know what can happen. We love that. Let's see.
You never know. Like, there's always one team every year that hits the playoffs, and as they get there, no one wants to play them.
49ers last year.
If the Packers do that, that would be them, because their offense is putting up points against everyone, and that's scary.
49ers last year, everybody thought they were cooked. You know,
100%.
they wrote them off, and they came in, they made it to the championship game. So you really, really never know. And the only reason they didn't win the championship game is because what's his name dropped the interception. So you never really
exactly.
know.
Like, they were that close to going to the Super Bowl, you know?
Exactly. New York Cheese said this is the most excited I've been all year. I agree. It kind of feels like we have something to play for now. Richard Roma, honestly, it's reminding me of 2014 or 2016. Mark, we lost your camera. That's okay. We'll get you back here in just a second. Let's keep it going to the chat. We lost Mark, folks. What are we going to do? He's all the way across the pond. That's okay. Alyssa, adversity builds character. Yeah, I would say so. Adversity is something that teams thrive on, and good teams, I should say, build upon. So we appreciate that. Frank, regardless of what happens at the year's end, do we keep Joe Barry? I don't know. You know, this Matt LaFleur kind of has a tendency to do things. He doesn't like to make quick decisions. And I feel like that's either a good thing or a bad thing, right? They say that, you know, making quick decisions can sometimes, you know, you don't want to make permanent decisions based off temporary problems. Well, Joe Barry has kind of been an all-season problem. So whether or not they move on from him, I think they should, obviously. Joe Barry has not been the answer. It's kind of been almost like a repeat of Mike Pettin, but just in a different system. I don't like that. Everybody kind of agrees with that, I would think, on the internet, but that's kind of where we're at with him. But I would not be shocked if they chalk it up to injuries, a.k.a. Eric Stokes and Rashawn Gary being out, and if they bring him back for one more year, which I hope not. We'll see what happens with that. Isaac, remember when we were 4-6, then won 6 straight and lost in the divisional round to the Falcons? Instead of giving me flashbacks this year, but we aren't losing. Yeah, 100%. Wait, I think that was that championship game, Isaac? I don't remember if you're talking about the 2016 year. Richard, yep. But what worries me is that we have the injury bug all year. Yeah, 100%. Andrew, Merry Christmas, Tyler. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. Lions, John, Lions versus your Packers week 18 is going to be for a playoff spot. Yeah, it's looking like that, isn't it? That is for sure. Oh my gosh. What an improbable run. I mean, this really, really does feel like run the table. I hope they can do it. I really, really hope they do. Tyler, do you think we'll be able to beat the Vikings? See, this is the thing. I don't know if a lot of people agree with me here, but I really feel like, hey, this might be the year that the Vikings are better than the Dolphins that we just played. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. They're fraudulent. We all know that. They kind of remind me of the 2019 Packers in a way where they just keep getting lucky, which, hey, their record is what their record is. I'm not going to take that away from them, but I am going to say, they're beatable. They're going to get beat in the playoffs. I hate the Vikings. So let's just hope that we can be the ones to beat them. That would be awesome. I don't know how that seeding's going to work out, but that would be awesome. Isaac, this coaching staff is going to be interesting, especially on defense. Yeah, well, like we were just talking about, let's see what happens. Let's hope Big Al, let's hope the Commanders lose one game and we're in. Yes, we just got to do our job. Frank, yep, that's right, 2016. John, everyone has the injury bug, though. That's right. We are pretty healthy, relatively. I mean, we'll see what happens with Christian Watson and all that kind of stuff in there. We'll try to get Mark back on here. I don't know where my guy Mark went, but he disappeared. He's across the pond. Either way, we're coming up on 40 minutes here. Frank, please call Tua. Chris from now, I think he meant Kirk. He's obviously Santa and gave... Oh, Chris. He's obviously Santa and gave the Packer Nation the best gift. Yes, Chris Kringle. Tua Tagovailoa, same person. We appreciate that. Atomic, I literally unwrapped my Leroy Butler jersey at halftime, and then Tua starts stucking interceptions. Let's go! Let's go! That's right. I love that, Atomic. Let's go. That is huge. Alyssa, the missed DPI killed me, but I was stoked when we immediately answered yes. The refs today, I don't know what happened with the refs today. Can we talk about the refs today? Because they were calling things and then not calling things. I know you can't blame the refs for everything, but that missed DPI really killed me. I appreciate the ball doesn't lie, though, because as soon as that happened, a pick got thrown in the next play, so we appreciate that. Big Al, the only thing I was disappointed in not using Aaron Jones versus the Dolphins. Yeah, I was too. I kept thinking about how disappointing it was, but the problem is that I guess Aaron Jones was hurt a little bit. So we got Mark's audio back. Mark, can you hear us? Mark, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Okay, Mark cannot hear us yet, so I might have to close it out here. But I will say the Packers winning this game is huge. The only thing we have to do now is win out. I don't care what Washington's doing. I don't care what's going on around the league. The only thing we have to do is win out. Mark, can you hear us? Are you there? Mark, okay, we don't have Mark, but that's okay. It's Christmas. I've muted Mark. We're going to go eat Christmas dinner now. This is amazing. Packers fans, thank you for joining us for the CHTV postgame show. The Packers win. All we got to do is win out now. Don't worry about what Washington's doing. Don't worry about what the rest of the league's doing. It's on us. We've got to win out. We've got to beat the Vikings now. We're going to do it, okay? Merry Christmas to everyone out there from all of us at CHTV. Enjoy the day with your families. We've been rocking and rolling here. This is incredible. Follow us, subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate it. Go Pack, go. Everybody have a great day because we won. Let's go. Have a great one, everybody. We'll see you next time. Go Pack, go. Let's see you. Somebody just say go Lions in the chat. I don't think so. Go Pack, go. There's a winning out, getting in the Super Bowl. Six games to go. Go Pack, go, baby.